Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to ICC Voices. Today, we will be having our first ever podcast with you guys, and I hope you have a great time with us. This podcast was made to promote cultural and educational understanding between El Salvador and the United States. And today, we have two very special guests with us. So we have Jorge Castillo here, director of ICC.
Thank
And
you.
we have Jessica Padron, I'm sorry, Cultural Affairs Officer of the U.S. Embassy. So welcome, you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Hope you have a great time.
It's our pleasure,
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Glad to be here.
And just before we begin, we will have a Q&A session at the end. So for everybody that's watching right now, can get the question through the broadcast, and we will ask it later. So, are you ready to start?
Ready?
We're ready.
So, we of course want to know a lot about the Project 250, but we will start first with the ICC. So, for the first question, for those joining us for the first time, I would like you to tell us what is the vision behind the ICC Voices and what inspired its creation.
Well, ICC Voices was created with a very simple but meaningful purpose: to bring people together to have a conversation. As a binational center, we believe that learning goes beyond the classroom. That's the main point. Learning goes beyond the classroom. And we wanted to create a space where students, professionals, and the general public can explore ideas, can explore and discover new opportunities, and engage with topics that matter. Not any topic. We are going to try to address topics that matter.
Right.
Through conversation with experts, educators, and community leaders, we hope to inform, to inspire, and to strengthen the cultural and educational ties between the education of El Salvador and the United States.
That's amazing, thank you. And what kind of topics are you talking about when you said important topics?
Important topics. Every topic that is treated with common sense. Common sense is important.
Yeah, common sense is important, indeed.
Yeah, but with respect, it becomes important. And these kind of topics are very essential not only because they are treated, but because they help to know each other.
Totally, completely. So for our second question, why is it important to create spaces that promote this cultural, educational, and academic exchange between El Salvador and the United States?
Because humanity should have learned, but now that when people know each other, they don't fight. They comprehend. They know each other better. And when people exchange ideas, experiences, and perspectives, they build understanding, they build respect, and they build collaboration. As we have had for 17 years. 17 years, the ICC and the United States Embassy have been together fostering our ties in trying to help students to have opportunities.
Okay, that's amazing, actually. That's really cool.
Thank you.
The actually exchange of not only talking about it, but also actually having people here to share it with.
And that was the idea where this started from, getting together,
Yeah.
as you say right now,
Yes.
get together.
So, what do you hope listeners would gain from this podcast? And what types of conversation can they expect in the future?
Okay, my hope, our hope, it is our hope, it is that every listener should finish each episode learning something about what he feels, what she thinks, and we hope to inspire to continue exploring new opportunities. This is very important also. In ICC, we just don't teach something.
Yeah.
We help students to discover, to grow. And if these conversations can help to do that, we will be very grateful.
That's amazing. And I also know that the ICC is a binational center.
It is a binational center.
And what does that mean?
What does that mean? The binational centers were created around 1932.
Mhm.
There are some that have hundreds of years. In Argentina, it was created the very first. But they were created with the hope of people getting together, as I said.
Again, different countries.
They can conversate, they can exchange ideas. And nowadays, they are very important because, like this, yesterday, other days, imagination was important.
Yeah.
Now you don't imagine it so much because the reality, what we created yesterday, it is a reality today.
It is, yeah. So, well, thank you so much. We will move forward
Okay, my pleasure.
with Jessica. I know you want to talk to us too much. So, let's start with the first question, shall we?
Please.
So, first. Oh, here it is. To begin, would you introduce to us what Freedom 250 is?
I would love to introduce to you what Freedom 250 is. Freedom 250 is the U.S. government-wide celebration of our nation's founding, the United States. And we are celebrating not just turning 250 years old, but also celebrating the significance of United States leadership and influence around the world. And one way that we are doing that is embassies around the world are celebrating with our host country nations where we are working. Because the reality is that from the time of our nation's founding and even before that, that other countries have been part of the United States story. So whether it's been through trade or through military alliances or through cultural exchange, for hundreds of years, part of what has been part of our American story has been our partnerships and our friendships with other countries. So here in El Salvador, we are celebrating that longstanding friendship that we have with your country. We are celebrating the power of diplomacy and of commitment to innovation and achievement and collaboration to build a shared future that is more secure and more prosperous for all people. And one way that we do that is by having great partners like ICC.
Like us.
Because the best way for us to reach Salvadorian audiences and have these conversations is by working with those who are very integrated into the Salvadorian public. And so we're very grateful to have a good friend in the Binational Center here and to work with Licenciado Castillo.
That's really nice. We're happy to have you here too.
Thank you.
So, it highlights themes such as democracy, innovation, and cultural education. Why are these really relevant today?
Sure, and those themes that you just mentioned have been important to the United States for the entirety of our nationhood, but they are still very relevant today. Secretary Rubio, the Secretary of State of the United States, gave some remarks recently celebrating our 250th anniversary. And he said that, I'm paraphrasing him, but he said that democracy is a difficult thing to create, a difficult thing to maintain. And really, ultimately, it's fragile. It's something that people have to choose and have to continue to create over many years, over many changes. And so it's something I think that we have in common with El Salvador, this commitment to building a democracy that is better and better over time. And it's something that is a sort of a pillar of both of our nations. So it's, democratic values are one of the things that we share with Salvadorians. I will also say on the topic of innovation that I think that young people that are graduating from universities today are on the precipice of a huge technological shift. When I was graduating from university or even entering university, the internet was kind of new, which is
Yeah.
hard for anyone to
Of
imagine
course.
who is in university today.
Roman times didn't exist.
That's right. That's right. And there was radio, but there weren't podcasts. We didn't call them
Yeah.
podcasts back then. So now with artificial intelligence and sort of the acceleration of technology, I think that what people are going to do professionally, how they're going to mediate culture will look different in the years ahead. And so this is a time to be very open to learning and motivated to take advantage of opportunities to learn these new technologies. So innovation is it's a big part of our story, and I think for all youth around the world. And then I will say that, culture is sort of the medium through which we create these friendships and these relationships all over the world, right? Our music, art, food, these are
Yeah.
things that have brought us together since the earliest days. And now, because technology connects us so quickly, these cultural influences spread very quickly. And so I think it will be a continued way that our friendship moves forward is through sharing culture with each other.
Yeah, it's easier because of all the things that we have now, like for Instagram and TikTok, things like that, and podcasts
And
like
podcasts,
this.
yes.
Yeah, these are important too. So, as we look ahead to this commemoration, what message would you like to prepare to take away from the Freedom 250 initiative?
So what I would say to your listeners is if there is anything about the story of the United States that inspires you, that we would invite you to think about your own ways that you will innovate and imagine how you take that inspiration into your future endeavors. I've been here in El Salvador for 2 years, and I can tell you what has struck me about being here is that El Salvador is not the youngest nation in the world, but everyone that I have met and talked to, this is a nation of very enthusiastic young people who really have this entrepreneurial energy, that have a lot of hope for the future, that are thinking about how to build a nation that is safer and more prosperous, which again is something that we hold deeply in common between the United States and El Salvador. So I would say that what I would invite your listeners to take away is that the United States wants to continue to be a friend to Salvadorians that are building that future here.
That's really nice. We're pretty happy about it. Really happy about it. And also, I was watching it, the Freedom 250, and isn't it a bit new because of the 250 years? That's why it was made, or was it?
Yes,
something before?
so we've been sort of anticipating this birthday for
Okay.
some time. So
Okay.
and President Trump and his administration have found a variety of ways to celebrate, the United States birthday, both at home and abroad. So here in El Salvador, we at the embassy have been invited to think of our own ways to celebrate the United States birthday, and so you can see that through a variety of programming that we have done throughout the year and will continue to do for the month. So we invite your listeners also to follow us on our social media platforms. We have an American film showcase coming up in September where we'll invite the Salvadorian public to join us to watch some classic American films in Parque Cuscatlan. So more to come on that, but yes, we are finding a lot of ways to celebrate this moment in our history.
That's really nice. So you're celebrating at home, at your country, and also here, and also in what other countries are you doing this?
Well, there are embassies in over 100 nations around the world that are doing their own celebrations, so it kind of depends on where you are. Recently, around the July 4th Day of Independence for the United States, you could see that embassies around the world and also national landmarks such as the Eiffel Tower were lit up in red, white, and blue to celebrate the United States. That even happened here at the National Palace in the Historic Center. And so we're just so grateful to have so many friends and partners around the world that want to celebrate this moment with us.
That's really nice. And as we come at the end of it, is there anything that you would want to add to everything that we've talked about, like the 250 program?
I would just say again to please follow us. We're everywhere on the internet. We have a website, but we also are on Instagram. We are on X. We are on LinkedIn. So you can follow us there, not just for our Freedom 250 programming, because that will end after this year. But we have exchange programs to which people can apply, young people can apply. So we invite you to continue following us there to see if there are opportunities to study in the United States or other programming that we will do for the public here in El Salvador. So please tune in, and we look forward to meeting some of you at some of our future events.
I will, of course, go there. Like
I will.
Everybody has to. We will. We will
We
look
will,
into
yes.
it very much. So yeah, so I would like to talk a bit about you and your work, if that's possible.
Please.
Like, what is your role into all of this? Because as I know, you are like cultural affairs officer at the United States. What is that?
Great question.
Yeah.
So yes, I am the Cultural Affairs Officer at the Embassy. That means that I am responsible for all of the cultural and educational programming that the U.S. Embassy does here in El Salvador with a wide variety of partners. So that encapsulates some of the cultural programming that I just mentioned for special events like Freedom 250, but it also means ongoing exchange programs that we have, such as the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative, such as the Fulbright program is one of our oldest and most famous programs. And then we also offer, for example, right here on the campus of the Centro Cultural, we offer educational advising through a program called Education USA. That also falls under my purview, so that's for students who are interested in studying in the United States who want to learn more. They can receive advisory services
That's nice.
through that office. So it's a wide range of different
Yeah.
programs that we run, but the purpose is to engage the Salvadorian public, to learn more about the United States, to understand, what are our priorities and how they intersect with the priorities of the Salvadorian public as well. And that's what a cultural affairs officer does at embassies all over the world.
That's really cool, actually. Yeah, you run like a lot of things.
It's a very interesting job. Very grateful.
It is a very interesting job. Yeah, and you've been doing this like how many times?
I've been here as the Cultural Affairs Officer in El Salvador for 2 years. Before that, I worked in Washington, D.C., overseeing entrepreneurship programs for all of Latin America. And before that, I was in China doing consular services. So I've done different
Wow.
jobs with the Department of State. This is my first time serving in this particular role.
That is a lot of things you've done. That's amazing, actually. So I would like to ask you if you have any questions. For her, yeah.
For her, no.
I mean,
Just
you want to know more.
for your listeners, our
Our
listeners,
listeners.
that they can come to ICC and find all that opportunities she has been talking about.
We can give you like you said, yeah. We can get a lot of people in here and give them opportunities. And
You-
I've also heard about.
I would like to add
people-
that was the main purpose of teaching English. That
Oh, yeah.
that make us born. When you teach a language, you just don't teaching how to put words together, but you're teaching experiences, you're teaching emotions, you're teaching the whole culture. And songs, by example, who hasn't sung Carole King, Bob Dylan, the Beatles?
The Beatles.
You know, music, cultural affairs, cultural production, painting, architectural, all those things strengthen the united between people. And that's what we do. We
Yeah.
bring people together.
And we also have like a lot of things in here that are from the United States that are just our own now because of how like close together we are. So that's actually really cool to share like culture with other countries.
Mhm.
It's a really good thing that we have here also.
And they learn also. Now they
it's
they eat
like both
pupusas.
ways, yeah.
Well, I will say, Jorge, that I am from the Washington, D.C. area, and some Salvadorians tell me there are better pupusas in the Washington, D.C. area than here in El Salvador
Yeah?
because of all the Salvadorians that live in
I
Maryland and
know
Virginia.
that. I know that.
That makes more sense. I was gonna say what? How?
Yeah, this wasn't my first time eating pupusas, but it is the pupusas.
I
capital
have
of
two
the
names
world.
of pupuserias over
That's
there
right.
in
All right, we'll
Washington.
go afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. And what other things about our culture do you like? Other than
Oh
pupusas?
man, well the beaches here are beautiful. I love that this is a relatively small country, so it makes it easy to explore. So in a couple hours, you could be at the beach, but you can also be in the mountains. So one of my favorite trips was going out to Chalatenango, close to El Pital, at the Honduran border. And it's nice that there's so much variety depending on where you go. And also the culture is just very warm and inviting. It's been very easy to integrate my family here, and we've enjoyed getting to know Salvadorans.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
we're
really
going cool.
cool.
higher
Yeah.
to Ministry of Turismo.
Oh, thank you.
It's really cool. It's really nice that you like it. Also, I also think that like one of the really nice things of El Salvador is that it is so small that you can just go anywhere and don't really have to, like, I don't know, take a flight to do it somewhere.
That's right.
That's really comfortable to
Good
have.
road trips.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good road trips indeed. So, we have a question from a listener. We're gonna start our Q&A right now.
Great.
Okay.
So let's bring up the questions. First, what message would you share with future generations about freedom and education?
About freedom and education. Do you have any thoughts on that? I'm happy to jump in, but I would be interested to hear what you
No.
think.
I was remembering a question somebody asked me some years ago. She was looking at our library, and some books, they are not new, but they have some years. And she asked, "This book still works?" And I thought, books, when they are well written, when they are attain a very special topic, and they have common sense again, and they have proved by science, they will always serve. They will always. That's why education is so important, because through education you learn from the past of your humanity, and you're becoming a human being. You're not just a human being. You're becoming a human being, and you're becoming every day a better human being.
Yeah.
So
Very good.
about education, I would love that.
Thank you
Liberty.
so much.
Yeah, I would say, freedom is a very abstract concept. I think every country defines for itself the freedoms that it holds most dear. In the United States, our freedom of expression is one of the defining characteristics of the United States. Here in El Salvador, I know there's a lot of conversation about freedom of movement because for a long time it was not easy to get around this country because of
Oh, yeah.
security issues. So I think the freedoms that are most important to us are sort of built into how we govern ourselves through democracy. And I agree with Licenciado Castillo that education is sort of, it unlocks all the things that are possible, right? So it's been very gratifying to oversee educational programs at the embassy here because it's one important way that we can offer opportunities to people who are going to build the future of this country. And it's also, a connection to the United States. We're very proud of many wonderful universities in the United States. That's why we offer Education USA advising services. So those educational opportunities can really make the difference for people who are already well on their way to great things, but we've been giving them that extra boost and connecting them to the United States is one of the ways that we have close friendship with El Salvador.
It's really nice. Next question.
Next question. Let's go.
So, as we celebrate 250 years of American democracy, what values do you believe remain most relevant in today's world?
Well, I think we've talked about some of them. I
Mhm.
think that,
Yeah.
those shared democratic values continue to be one of the things that binds us. And as Licenciado Castillo said earlier, it helps us not fight so much, or if we fight, we're fighting with words. And I think that will continue to be important, at least in the United States. What other values do you think?
Well, I think respect for the other is a very important value
Yeah.
in American culture. Everyone feels person in its own, and everyone knows they deserve respect. They just don't gain respect; they deserve it because they were born in America. As here, we have come to understand that every single human being deserves respect.
Yeah, totally. Complete. Yeah.
Mhm.
Respect is a very important part of it, indeed. So, beyond communication, what role does English play in expanding educational, cultural, and professional opportunity?
We have said that before through music, by example, Daddy Yankee and all those.
Yeah.
A deep cut, yes. I will say, one thing that I say sometimes is that English is one of the United States' most important cultural exports. We didn't invent the English language; we inherited it
Yeah.
from the United Kingdom. However, English is such an important tool professionally for people all over the world, and so it's one of the things that we're most proud to support is those opportunities to learn English, because as Licenciado Castillo said earlier, it's not just about how you put the words together, it's actually a window into culture, and that's true for me learning Spanish, so I'm sure that that's true for Salvadorians learning English as well. There are many applications of English here in El Salvador. We know that there's a growing tourism industry here. A lot of that is driven from the United States. And so I think that English competency is one opportunity for Salvadorians who are going to expand new sectors here right into the future.
A
Yeah.
wide window. You take for example, our new program in tourism.
Yeah.
We made it because the Ministry of Tourism found out that they needed people who speak English to attend people who's coming.
Yeah, because also I think English is like the middle place of almost everybody, almost in the entire world. Like if you don't know their language, you can both be like knowing English, so you can still communicate with almost everybody. So yeah, they do say like English opens doors,
That's
and
right.
it does indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, and also I think it's a little bit easier than like learning Spanish. I don't know how it was for you to learn Spanish. Like how was it hard?
Oh, that's hard for me to say. Yes, it's always hard to learn a new language, especially as an adult. It's very different for me to practice Spanish, in midlife versus watching my son.
But
who's
she
3.
speaks Spanish very well.
She does,
She
yeah.
Very
speaks
generous.
and she has improved a lot. Yes,
I'm fighting.
you have improved for sure.
Thank you. No, and it's been wonderful to be in a Spanish-speaking country and really immersed in the practice. But yes, it's always a challenge to learn a new language, but I think that it's worth the effort, and it's like a superpower once you learn, because you can do things and have
Superpower.
conversations you would have never had before.
Yeah.
So stick with it, even when it's hard.
I like that
Yeah.
word,
Yeah,
superpower.
yeah,
It's a superpower. Also with like jokes or things like that, or like
Exactly.
mundane, like words that even somebody that does speak English does not know.
That's right. That's right.
Like you guys just get to know so much more knowing their language.
Mhm.
And I've known people like they do say like that they had like different personalities when they're speaking different
Right.
languages.
Sure.
That's a very interesting thing too. But yeah, like not only to like expand your knowledge, but also expand your, I don't know, brain at some point. To actually like be two people, or like be free talking with two people that don't know their own languages. It's like
Sure. Yeah.
that's
We
a very
have just
fun thing.
received students taking that. We have just received students from our school, high school. They were in exchange in Atlantic University.
Yeah.
And what they have learned the most, it is they are able to comprehend another people, to engage in relationship with other people, and to understand with other people. So what I say, when here we teach English, we don't teach it just as a language, but as a open gate to new experiences, to new experience.
Yeah,
Really.
exactly. You can, yeah. There are experiences to have in
It's a
so many other
superpower.
languages.
I
So
have
it's
heard
the
it
superpower, yeah.
somewhere else. I heard it superpower. I
We
like
love
that word.
So, for the next question, how can education help strengthen democratic values and civic engagement among young people?
That's a great question.
Mhm.
Well, as someone who works in the government, I will tell you that government can be a little bit complicated.
like it.
And it's not obvious how governments work. So I think it's very important to be educated, to have civic education that teaches people how their government works, because you can't have a healthy democracy without people who understand the fundamentals of how they are governed, right? If you're going to participate in democracy, then you need to understand the anatomy of your democracy. And they're not all the same. They don't all have the same rules. There's many ways to be a democratic country. So I think that part of education is understanding that aspect of what role do you play in your democratic society, and what are the rules of the game.
Anything to add?
Very
That's-
interesting.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
All these democratic things are, I think they're very confusing at some point, but if you get into it, you do need to know your democracy, know your...
And you can't change anything if you
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it's very fashionable to complain about the government in lots of countries.
Yeah.
In every
And
country.
every country,
I could complain about the government. I'm in there every day. I'm sure all of us who work for the government have our own complaints as well. But the reality is you can't make changes that are positive if you don't understand how the government works, right?
Yeah.
So the first step before you complain is to learn, and then you can help build a solution.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So, what is the greatest lesson from 250 years of American history?
Greatest lesson of all.
Greatest lesson.
The greatest lesson.
Woo, no pressure.
No pressure. What are the greatest lessons? There are
Okay,
very.
let's do a top 5.
A top five?
Top
Oh,
3, I
man.
don't know. What do you prefer?
Well, I would say, I mean, I want to go back to something I said earlier, which is, so the United States, of course, we're very proud of our legacy. We're actually, as you know, we're a relatively young country. We're not the oldest country in the world. But I think it's fair to say we have a pretty significant, despite only being 250 years old, we have an important legacy of leadership around the world. And we take a lot of pride in that. But as I said earlier, that story has never been in isolation. It has always been with our friends, adversaries, partners around the world. And so that will continue to be part of our story, is not just what the United States builds, but what we build together. And it's why we have embassies. It's why we have public diplomacy in the office that I work in, to really share that story with publics and to find our common ground, because that's what makes collaboration possible.
Learning. She hasn't said that, but learning is
Sure.
one of the main lessons from 250. We all have been learning how to be free. Your freedom is not equal every time of the history. Freedom in 18 was different from what we know today.
Yeah.
And for sure, it won't be the same 15 years from now.
Totally.
We will be talking on the third.
The 300th anniversary. Yeah, see you back here in 50 years.
Okay, but for sure we are learning that how to be free, how to be strong, how to be safer, and that's very important. Thank you, Jessica, for showing us this.
Thank you. No, it's a pleasure.
And also talking about like the 300th anniversary.
Mhm.
You're planning something for that?
Not yet, but check back in 48 years.
Sure, totally. I will be checking.
I hope our listeners also.
And yes,
Uh-huh.
everybody should be
Yeah.
checking
Yeah.
for the 300th anniversary.
Jorge and I will hopefully be on a beach somewhere
Okay.
relaxing at that point.
Yeah, totally. And right now, like, you're gonna do like a lot of things to celebrate like today, right? So I hope they're like really nice, but not as good as the 300th anniversary will be, we have to set the ground.
Right,
not
bigger
much.
and better
Uh-huh.
in 50
Yeah.
years, sure.
So, what can other countries learn from the United States to 50 years of freedom?
Well, I think we've talked about
We
some
have
of those.
just said that.
Yeah, we've talked about that. I mean, I think that young people who are listening have
Very
to sort of
important.
imagine 50 years from now, right? Because that's sort of, you graduate from university, you have like 50 years, más o menos, right?
Yeah, I still have that.
To make your mark.
Yeah.
And so, you know, to not wait to think about it now, because in a democracy, the people who participate are the ones that build the future. You know, I think that's, that for me, what's most inspiring maybe about the story of the United States is the idea of sort of constructing a nation that didn't exist before, but doing it through democratic processes, through the voice of the people, is, I think, something that continues to sort of inspire today. It's not easy. Again, it's not an easy thing to do or to maintain, but it's a noble project. So I hope that continues to inspire.
Yeah, and from young people right now to actually get to know this and to get into it. Yeah.
Excuse me. Young people is very exciting to work with.
Yeah.
Just because youngers are not the same these times that other times. Youngers now, they want everything easier. The easiest way they can choose, they will choose it. The fastest way they can choose, they will choose it. We were taught differently. We were taught we need some time to get to where we want to go. And I guess that's going to be, again, a very stated value. Time will tell you that not everything can be attained at very short period of time. 250, it's a long period of time,
Yeah.
but anyhow, 15 years from now, you will be looking at those 250 years. It's going to be shorter a period.
Yeah, time is a really interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like a lot when you see it, but it's when you're like actually living it and actually building it, it doesn't feel like that much. But it is a lot, and it takes a lot of work.
And I was thinking what I wanted when I was your age.
Yeah.
I was a student also, and I did want some things that you have attained them in very different ways. Nowadays, you have a lot of opportunities,
Yeah.
and that's why we work to provide youth with opportunities they can use and they can improve. It is always on the making.
Yeah.
History is on the making. Carol King tiene una canción about that.
Yeah, it is on the making indeed, and also with all the technology that we have today, we do have it easier.
You have it easier.
Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah.
We do have it easier, and it is. I think it's a good thing though, that like we have like actually grown so much that we now have things easier than they were before. It is just a really, really good thing, and we will have it easier
Mm-hmm.
later on. So, what's the best cultural event you have done so far in El Salvador?
Oh, I won't say the best. I won't pick favorites. But we had a very exciting program in June where we invited two pitmasters who are barbecue experts to come to El Salvador and share their techniques with students at Ictepepare, who are in the culinary program there. And we also brought them to a football fair that was hosted by La Prensa Gráfica. American barbecue is a cuisine that doesn't really exist anywhere else in the same way. It's really a homegrown cuisine. A lot of our cuisine is sort of imported from other places because so many Americans are
Yeah.
from immigrant communities. But American barbecue is really sort of, and there are regional specialties, right? So it's very, very organically homegrown. And so sharing it with Salvadorians was very fun, very exciting, very delicious.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So we enjoyed that very much.
One thing I love about food, like U.S. food, is the mac and cheese.
Yes, a very
Oh,
important
that's
side in
amazing.
barbecue culture, I would
Yeah.
say, yes. And one of the only vegetarian options in barbecue culture.
Yeah, it's really good. Like last time we had like a celebration of 4th of July, the last 4th of July.
Mhm.
I did try it from Americans, and it was amazing.
Oh, so
Like
bad. You got to
I've
do
tried
that.
to do it myself before, and it has not tasted like that.
Yeah, the key is a roux. You have to make a roux with butter and flour, but I can send you the recipe later.
Thank you so much. Do you have like any specific fond memories about it? Like,
About barbecuing growing up? Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's like a very popular American tradition to grill outside, right? So definitely for events, not just 4th of July, but like summer barbecues are sort of part of our culture in a lot of different parts of the United States. And we also do, I don't know how familiar this concept is to your listeners, but tailgating, which means that before a sporting event, or hours
Mhm.
before a sporting event, you park in
Baseball.
one of our giant parking lots outside of a stadium, and you open the trunk, and you take out your portable grill and your lawn chairs,
oh,
and you like cook food and drink beer or whatever you prefer for hours before the game starts. So it's like a pre-party.
that's
And you
actually
know,
amazing.
that's going to be implemented here for the football,
Yeah.
for the soccer games, football
Yes,
games.
yes.
Oh.
I've heard at the news they are going to use that pre-party.
Yeah, pre-party,
Mhm.
pre-game. Yeah,
Pre-game
and
party.
I think because a lot of people were visiting the United States, maybe not for the first time, but the first time for a huge sporting event for the World Cup
World
these
Cup,
past
yeah.
weeks,
Mhm.
that it was great to see the videos of all the parts of American culture that people were learning about for the first time, one of which was tailgating.
That looks fun. It's
Yeah.
like
And for sure there were
Carne asada.
Salvadorians grilling.
I'm sure, yeah.
like we have here like a carne asada, kind of.
Yes,
But like
yes.
to go.
Yes, a little different,
Carne asada
different
to go.
style.
Yeah. And here also, like in the stadium, the Cuscatlan Stadium,
Hmm.
they also like do grill meat or
Mhm.
like have food around it. It's not like actually people going there and having their food,
Right.
but it's kind of similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get to believe.
You have to dare.
Like,
Dare
it's similar.
to try. Dare to try.
Yeah. Okay. What tradition from past should be preserved for the 250 years, and what tradition should we have the courage to leave behind?
Tough questions.
Very tough question.
Tough questions.
Yes.
Those are the listeners who are asking those
yes,
questions.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I think the tradition of the American tradition of protecting the freedom to find the truth and express oneself, right? To express one's
Yes.
truth is, if we ever lose that, we won't really be American. So I think it will continue to be an indelible part of our traditions. What are the traditions that we should leave behind? I have to think about that one. What do you think we should
I've
keep?
never think about.
What do we find? And what should we keep? What's your favorite? What's your most important?
Well, it is not a tradition, but as I said, America has overcome a lot of things. The treatment they gave years ago to people from other cultures, it wasn't the best, probably. We have learned, we all in the world have learned that people deserve respect. And being ethnocentric, it is not a tradition that we should keep.
Yeah. Totally. Having respect and inviting others. That's a really good thing.
But that's a tough question.
It was,
Yes.
I was thinking also,
Mhm.
like when you think about traditions, you
I would
usually
like
don't
to
think-
know who is asking that question.
I'll ask.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't usually think about like bad things about tradition. They're like the things that we just keep to remember our past and to remember like the good things about who we are, who we became. So yeah, like
I came
bad
to remember.
traditions.
Have you seen a film, The Fiddle on the Roof?
I'm very familiar with the musical The Fiddler on the Roof. I'm not sure I've ever watched it from start to finish.
I
but the
remember
music is amazing.
Topol at the scene singing tradition, tradition. It was about the marriage of her young daughter, and he was asking that there are some traditions that has to be respected. Sometimes they feel like you cannot move freely, but when you see them retrospectively, they have helped to keep the country stick together.
Yeah.
But we
And
have
they're
to
all
give a
traditions.
little bit of thought to that
Yeah.
question.
Yes, indeed. This is a funny one. Who is your American
At
hero?
last, a funny one.
Finally, a funny one. Who's your favorite American hero and why?
My favorite American hero. Well, it's hard to choose. I think that Frances Perkins, who might not be a name that everyone recognizes, is she was one of the first women to serve in a presidential cabinet. She
Oh.
served in
Ah.
the cabinet of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and she's part of the reason that we have a 40-hour work week in the United States.
Oh, fun.
She was very active in the labor rights movement, so not just the number of hours that people work, but also ending child labor and ending unsafe work conditions that caused a lot of problems for workers in the United States. I'm thinking of her because I read a book about her recently. She seemed like a pretty, someone with a lot of integrity and a lot of courage. Mhm.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
hero to
that's-
me.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I could go on, but yeah. Do you have a favorite partner?
Not really. Carol King. I love her.
Good choice. Uh-huh.
She's outstanding,
Yeah.
for sure.
Great music.
And she has to live a life that's encouraging,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
I don't know right now.
We'll keep it at that. So, as we have been discussing democracy, innovation, culture, and education, which of the four pillars is the most invisible engine of freedom in a country?
Say that one more time. Of the four pillars.
Let's do it again.
Uh-huh.
As we have been discussing democracy, innovation, culture, and education, which of the first pillar is the most invisible engine for freedom in a country?
Invisible engine. That's such a poetic way
Yeah.
to ask that question. I mean, I guess to me, democracy is maybe the most abstract out of those things. And sometimes democracy is most invisible when it's working well, and then you don't notice, until something goes wrong. So I think that's something that's sort of interesting about democracy is it turns if you build it, it can turn away in the background, but if you don't maintain it, it can be sort of invisible until something breaks, and then you have to address it.
You just take it for granted.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, we don't have really any young Americans who have the same memories, right, that like the older Americans have about 20th century, building of our nation. So I think young people are forming their own 21st century memories
Yeah.
of what it looks like to build democracy now in the age of AI and other innovations. So, yeah.
Talking about AI, can we get into that topic? Like, what do you think about it? How is it how is it serving you? Like, how do you use it in your work? Or do you use it in your work?
Yeah, I think for me personally, just what's, exciting about AI is its ability to take a lot of disparate, large volumes of information and help us analyze them in ways that are useful so we know how to do our jobs better. Computers can do that faster than than human beings in
Faster,
a lot of cases.
yeah.
So I think, I think one of the challenges of the 21st century workplace is there's just so much information because it just moves so much faster. It can be very overwhelming. So my hope for AI in the workplace is that it will help us digest all of that information and use it, in exciting ways or in ways that make things better. And then there are also risks of AI as well, right?
Totally.
I tell my staff, I encourage you to use AI to do your work, but you are responsible for the output. And so if your AI hallucinates, you're ultimately responsible, not the robot.
Totally.
So that's the trade-off.
And that seems to be the main challenge for education nowadays, intelligent.
Yes, the AI, like
How to
everybody's
use
using
it, how to learn to use it, what to teach about it. You have to use it. We have been using for a while,
Yeah.
but we have to improve the use of that, and we have to create our own intelligence. That's very important. So the challenge for educators, it is very, very big.
Yeah, and with kids now just thinking they can do anything with it. It's like very hard, I think, to actually have a balance between using AI and actually knowing what you're talking about. Or like doing homeworks and things like that. I've heard so many like stories
Uh-huh.
about kids that use like AI and like you can like literally see that it is AI.
And as
It's
Jessica
just pretty
said
funny.
before, the difference between AI and us, it is she is faster than we are.
Yeah.
But
Kind
we
of.
know she doesn't know anything that we
That we
doesn't
don't
know before.
Yeah, that's so right. Because we are the intelligence.
Yes,
It's
we have
fitting
created
from-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier, I think one thing you were saying earlier about the necessity of patience, right? I don't even know if you said patience,
Mhm.
but you were saying how people want things to be very fast because of the way technology is. But I don't know if this story is real or apocryphal, but I had heard at one point that President Obama had a placard on his desk that said, "Hard things are hard." And it's actually a lesson that I try to take with me, which is that there are a lot of things that are not easy to do. They aren't instant, but they're still worth doing, right? And so that's sort of the challenge that AI poses. It's an appealing shortcut, and I think it sometimes can speed up things in ways that are incredibly valuable. And also, it won't be a silver bullet for all of our problems. So hard things will still be hard. So we have to work through them together.
Yeah.
When you ask for heroes, I was thinking some of the names that pop up in my mind were from psychologists about 1950s, 1960s. They were doing the work of creating the computers. They were asking people, the scientists ask how we humans think, remember, learn, and they made a dissectomy of those processes so engineers can copy them. And there were about the 1950, 1975, there was a very interesting conversation between psychology and engineering in their way into creating computers. Those founders are now what we are looking into intelligence, artificial intelligence.
The founders.
The founders, yes.
It's really interesting how everything works, actually. Like how it was created. It's a very cool concept, honestly.
Mhm.
So, we're almost getting to time. So, I would like to thank the two of you for your time here, for actually sharing with us. We went through a lot of things today. We went through the ICC, we went through the project, the 250, and yeah, I think it has been a really nice conversation that we have had. I'm learning to a lot of things today. So thank you a lot. And thank our listeners also for being with us today and for actually giving us questions, because most of the questions
Frankly.
were actually really nice, really cool to think about. They give us a lot to talk about today. And yeah, well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you would like to add right now before we close up?
Well, I think you should take some of the questions that people sent in and use them for a new podcast conversation.
Podcast.
Specifically,
Yes, I think there's a lot of fertile ground to explore. But no, but thank you so much for having us for this conversation. Thank you to ICC for putting on this series and for celebrating Freedom 250 with us. It really means a lot to us to have good friends and partners. It's not a party if you're just celebrating by yourself. So I'm really, really grateful for Centro Cultural and all of our friends here for being part of the celebration of Freedom 250.
I was thinking just the same. Darle las gracias, sinceras gracias a Jessica por haber estado con nosotros. She has a very tight agenda, so making the time to be here on this very first podcast. Nosotros tenemos un dicho que se me vino a la cabeza: no hay primero sin segundo, o no hay primera sin segunda. Because if there's no second, there was the only one.
Yeah.
But this is the first podcast. So we will be expecting the other podcast. And thank you a tu audiencia. Has tenido una audiencia muy interesante realmente, y las preguntas que han hecho se las agradecemos. Lo estoy diciendo en español por si alguien no lo entendió plenamente. Jessica ha dicho eso, las preguntas estuvieron muy profundas, estuvieron interesantísimas, y valdría la pena un segundo podcast para eso. Muchas gracias.
Totalmente.
Y Jessica, realmente, from the heart,
Thank you.
muchas gracias
Thank
por
you.
estar con nosotros.
So yeah, be sure to follow our channel, follow ICC Voices and ICC. I think we have like a YouTube channel for the ICC actually. So be sure to follow that also, and our social media on Instagram. So you are informed about our upcoming episodes. And yeah, until next time, keep learning, connecting, and exploring new perspectives. Until the next one.